obviously they got, points in the paint. I think it was 60 plus, and they got a lot of things inside, and Aiden foul trouble. Just your assessment of tonight's game.
Well, I thought we started the game in a bit of a trot, and they got out to I don't know what it was, 11 zip or whatever it was, and that's not how you can you start games on the road. Our first quarter was really poor, and we were only down 6, and we played poorly. But to me, the physicality was one thing, but this is the first time for me in a long, long time with our group when we get where we got outworked. When a team has 15 offensive rebounds, that's a sign that you're getting outworked. And so we can't start games in a trot or, thinking that we've done something. As I said to you guys before, we're a team that's approaching 500, and we played somewhat like, we're just going to show up and play. And we started playing better in the second quarter, and the rest of the game, I thought, we won by 1 point, but the first quarter was not good for us at all. And we just can't start like that.
And just to follow up on Aiden, this is now 2 games. I know it happens, I know he, because of how he plays and how the game is called, but 2 games where he's had foul trouble. What are you thinking on that? Is it like, okay, let's fix this now, just let it play out? How are you?
No, I mean, all you can do is, talk to him about it, show him. But the reality is a lot of his fouls or some of his fouls are happening because of breakdowns on the ball. And so, when he's helping and he's got to come over and challenge somebody at the basket, there's going to be contact. I thought one of them was a verticality, but he may have brought his hands down. But it's something that we're aware of. We're not going to get crazy after 2 games, but we need him in the game for longer stretches. And when he picks up fouls like that, it hurts us. But that, that's something that I think we can correct.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Brendan Clean.
Monty, they were aggressive with switches and double team sign. You guys were able to create good looks off of that, but the 3-point shooting numbers were low. What'd you make of the offensive execution tonight?
If you look at our shot quality tonight, I mean, how many open looks did we get? Now we got above the break threes, but we got a bunch. I mean, we're 11 for 44 from the 3-point line. We have 44 looks at it. We only made 11. If we just shot a normal percentage, we win the game. The thing that I liked is that we held them to 23. They've been averaging like 42, but a lot of their looks were in the paint, and they were driving and getting to the basket. And so we just got to keep shooting the ball. That's not something I'm really concerned about because our guys put the work in. If we could have made a few more tonight, it could have been a different outcome.
Next is Brendan Clean with Bright Side of the Sun, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Coach, on that 3 that Book took in the corner with about 45 seconds or whatever it was to go, was that the shot that play was designed to create? And just in
More
that
on
last
the wing.
couple?
Yeah,
Okay.
Wanted to get a quick three more on the wing. We didn't execute that play well at all, but it's for Jay to catch it and Book to come off around 2 guys and get a screen and then get the shot on the wing.
Okay, thank you.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Coach. When looking at Chris, he didn't, obviously he was in and out preseason, and then he hit a big shot at the end of the first game. What we saw tonight is that what we should that's what people should be accustomed to seeing him play with that kind of the assists, hitting clutch shots. And on those threes, were you even like those counted? I mean, it was 2 that, were buzzer beaters there. And, he didn't get either one until that last one when it really didn't matter.
Well, Chris is getting his legs underneath him. I'm looking forward to seeing him when he's really in shape. He's starting to understand what we're looking for in the offense. Like you said, he didn't play a lot in the preseason, and some of that was by design. but that's the effect that he can have on the game for sure. I mean, how many threes did we miss tonight? I mean, he probably could have had 20 assists. We just missed a lot of shots, and so we can't think about it. We got to be ready tomorrow to take those same shots, and tomorrow we'll make them.
And the follow up on that, you said came out in a trot. I know you weren't expecting that, but as far as because you went for a stretch where I think you let it. I think it was 11-0 before you called a timeout. Maybe you would have called a timeout earlier. I don't know, but was it just a matter of, did you just get any sense of that, a vibe of that before the game that they would?
No, that's not something we've ever even had to think about here,
Right.
because we've played at a level where teams have to catch up to us, and we just didn't play with that. And if we played hard, they played harder. That was the issue. It wasn't necessarily us. It was like how hard they played. They got it and they just took off, and we're in the paint and running in transition. And that was what we talked about, getting back in transition and rebounding the ball. Those are things that you can control. And we just didn't do as good of a job as we could have.
All right, final two questions are going to come from Gina Mizell with Suns.com and then Dave King.
Hey, Monty, obviously the schedule is so different this year with playing back-to-back against the same team. Is this like a good situation where it's like, okay, we literally can immediately come back tomorrow and try to not just correct mistakes for ourselves, but do it against the team that we just played tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for us. Our mentality is we have to play with a great deal of force from the beginning. And it's somewhat of a playoffs type atmosphere, and you're on the road. You drop game one, and you want to make sure you get game two before you head home. And it's a good thing for our guys to get this experience. I know that they'll be chomping at the bit to get back on the floor tomorrow.
All right, Coach, final question comes from Dave King with Bright Side of the Sun.
Hey, Coach, it looks like Devin Booker's playing extremely hard out there. He's trying to will the team to a win, because it looks like he's pressing out there. He's making good decisions, but at the same time, he's got 15 turnovers in 2 games. To what do you attribute that, and how do you think that's going to adjust in time?
That's something I know he's aware of. He'll correct it for sure. A lot of it is, having different guys on the floor, and some of it's not knowing where we're supposed to be. Some of it is, teams are game planning. They switched a lot tonight. I don't think we took advantage of that as well as we could have. Devin's turnovers usually always come from a good intention. That's not something, I think is going to trend at all. I'm sure he's aware of it. We've talked about it. And I anticipate that will decline here quickly.
Yeah, Chris, just your assessment tonight. Obviously, they got 60+ points in the paint, and obviously you guys didn't shoot the three like you would like, but obviously it came down to the end. So what do you feel like maybe was the difference in the game and your assessment of it?
It was rebounding, transition defense, stuff that we knew coming into the game. Like we said, we always going to be prepared going into the game. So all the stuff Coach told us that we need to be conscious of, they beat us on.
And to follow that up, Coach was saying that, you're getting your legs under you now, and obviously you're getting in better conditioning. How did it feel tonight for you, say, compared to the opener?
Felt a lot different, but it's no excuses. We still need to win this game. But man, it's fun being with the group that we have, because we got an amazing group. But as we continue to get our legs under us, especially myself, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a hell of a year. But good thing about it's almost like baseball. So we get to get right back at it tomorrow to get this taste out of our mouth.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and he'll be followed by Brendan Clean.
Hey, Chris, they were switching almost everything and were aggressive with doubles. You guys were able to get a lot of good looks from 3 off that, but just shots weren't falling. Your thoughts on the offensive execution tonight?
Yeah, it was we'll I mean, they were switching. We had bigs on us or whatnot. I don't think I took advantage of the plays that I could have, but we'll get that right. And I got to get my big fella some more touches. So, you know, I say this all the time. You want to learn and win at the same time. I'm probably more disappointed that we lost a close game. You know, try to pride on ourselves on those last possessions. So, you know, we started out 15-2. You know, so that's on us. That's not coaching. That's on us. So we got to be better.
Next is Brendan Clean with Bright Side of the Sun, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Hey Chris, yeah, I was going to ask you about that initial start to the game and why you think it was a little slower. Was it those same things in terms of rebounding and transition defense, or was something at the beginning what caused you guys to get to that deficit?
Tell you the truth, I don't even remember now. I got to go back and look at the game.
Sure.
For me, I'm still like replaying the last 3-4 minutes in my head, so I don't remember. So I got to go watch it.
And then the other thing I wanted to hear from you is just, you do sound, I mean, obviously it's only game number 2, right? And you sound like you have a lot of optimism. What good things did you see that did carry over from Wednesday to this one that can keep going forward?
Like I said in the locker room with the guys, we ain't got no moral victories, you know, but I think it's a feeling. You know, when you're on these teams, it's a feeling. We expect to win, you know, so when guys are mad in the locker room or frustrated because we let one get away, you know, we feel like we know what we got to do. We expect so much from each other.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Dave King.
And just to follow up on that, Chris, is this not, I like you said, no moral victories. Well, was this good to happen early so guys can, okay, let's lock in on what, you know, we had a win in the opener. It felt good. This happened. All right, let's get back on our grind. Is that what a game like this can do? And like you say, getting another chance tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm always gonna say this, man. We got such a great group of guys that we don't have to lose to learn a lesson, you know. So it happened. Now we got to move on. Quick turnaround. 6 o'clock game tomorrow. Let's get back at it.
All right, Chris, final 2 questions are come from Dave King with Bright Side of the Sun and then Gina Mizell.
Hey, Chris, it looks like DA, despite the foul troubles, DA looks like he's trying to find his way in the offense right now, looking for new kind of shots, finishing on the pick and roll with you, setting the right screens. Looks like he's still struggling to find his niche in there. What's your thoughts on how that's going and what do you say to him during the games and after?
We're gonna keep trying to find him and feed him. You know, for me, over the course of the game, I'm never like stat sheet watching. My only focus is try to win the game. But after the game and I see he only got 5 attempts, you know, stuff like that, I'm conscious of that. So I definitely want to get him involved. He's a big part of our team on the offensive end and defensive end, and the way he's playing, we got to reward him. So I got to do a better job of that.
Final question is Gina Mizell from Suns.com.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned that this is kind of like a baseball series where you turn right back around and play the same team again. So just what's the process like for you as far as obviously watching the game again, but just kind of processing all of this, turning around and then getting a chance to play the exact same team again tomorrow?
Recovery. That's the name of the game. You go watch. Shoot, they probably going to run some of the same plays. We're going to run some of the same plays, but you know, who can be ready to play tomorrow at a high intensity once again. So recover.
Yeah, Jay, just wanted to ask, just in that last, I guess, 5 minutes, what do you feel like was the difference in the game?
I think the offensive rebounding killed us. Second chance effort, second chance points. Obviously, we had a few meltdowns offensively, but we still was in the game. If we was able to get some stops. So I think just defensive rebounding, limiting those guys to one shot at the rim and one possession.
And to follow that up, Coach said he felt like you guys came out, as he said, in a trot and wasn't, you know, right away.
Yeah.
I guess, why do you feel that was, and what do you think you guys did to get it going and get it going?
And I don't know why that was. I put that on myself because I'm a good energy guy. I'm a good person to get the first group going. So I take the blame for that. My energy wasn't where it needed to be to let the rest of the guys feed off of it, and I'll do a better job of that moving forward. But I think our second unit came in and gave us a good lift. A couple subs came in and gave us some good energy, and we was able to get back in it there in the first quarter. So luckily, our bench came to play today, but we didn't start the game the way we wanted to.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Brendan Klein.
Hey Jay, you guys were 11 of 44 from three. It felt like you were able to punish them on the switches and the doubles, but the shots weren't able to fall. You mentioned earlier in camp about Miami's let it fly. I'm sure that's going to be more of the message in the next 24 hours, right? Just keep shooting those.
I mean, yeah, I think we got good enough shooters to make obviously a better percentage than 25%. But that is part of our offense, just to step in and play with confidence and shoot with confidence because we work on it so much. But at the same time, you got to find balance. And I just feel like we got to do a good job of finding balance with that. And that'll come with time. That'll come with a lot of film sessions, and that'll come with a lot of communication. But I think we got enough shooters to really knock those in at a higher clip. And I just feel like we'll get better at it. Looking at those guys, they made 5 threes and beat us pretty good. So, it's a balance. We got to find a balance within our offense.
Next is Brendan Klein with Bright Side of the Sun, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Jay, I think it's something Monty and Chris both said in terms of transition defense as well, being one of the areas that you guys can improve on from tonight. So I'm sure a lot of that is what you were just talking about, right? Communication in that same way. What do you think goes into building that transition defense and kind of knowing where your teammates are that way over the course of the season?
Well, I just feel like obviously when you look at transition defense, it's 2 things: it's communication, and it's taking the best offensive shots that we can get, and to put ourselves in position to defend if we don't execute on that end of the court. So I feel like sometimes we get to where it's like it's a gray area with a lot of guys want to go offense rebound or get back, but we got to find a balance in that. And I just feel like we continue to hound it, continue to watch film on it, and continue to get our communication where it needs to be. And right now, it's not where it needs to be. All 5 guys are not communicating effectively to take away some of that stuff in transition. I just feel like with time, it'll come, but at the same time, we got to do it on the fly because it's a short turnaround for us. We didn't get a chance to come together, and that's not an excuse. That's just the reality of it. And we got to continue to just try to get better in those situations. But I just feel like it's a total group effort. Communication is probably the number one thing we got to work on with that. No one has a man, and help each other out on that end of the court.
All right, next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yes, Jay, I just had one more. You and Chris have been in so many playoff series, and I know this is not the playoffs, but that next day, playing the same team. Just looking at your experience in situations like this, what needs to happen from now until tomorrow's start of the game to get you guys the best prepared you can be to play well tomorrow?
Well, first, it's early in the season, so you got to first take care of your body. I think we got to get some rest. We got to take care of our bodies. We got to ice. We got to recover in the proper fashion and get our bodies ready. And I think that follows with your mind. That follows with the game plan execution. That follows with watching film and trying to get better with a meeting in the morning as a group. And I just feel like that's the steps you take to approach the same team on the next day. Obviously, they're going to do some things and talk about some stuff they didn't execute well on, and vice versa, and it's just part of it. But I just feel like our mentality is where it needs to be. We dropped one tonight, and we got to get tomorrow. So that's our mentality moving forward, and I just think that's going to help us. But obviously, it's early in the season. Like I said, number one is your body, taking care of your bodies and getting ready to go for another 48 minutes. So with that being said, we'll be ready to go tomorrow.